Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Tuesday, June 19th, 2018. Now before I get started, I just want to let you know that personal readings are back and available. I am currently doing those starting for the second week in July. So if you want to know what's going on right now in your life, maybe what changes are up ahead or what you may currently be experiencing to help you make sense of those things better, please book a spot with me down at the link below in my description box. Now, for your horoscope, what we have is the moon here in Virgo, and the moon's in Virgo brings our attention to doing things, to making things happen, to taking care of some work. A lot of times as well, when the moon's in Virgo, we're strategizing, we're thinking, we're planning about how we can put all the bits and pieces together in our life to make something out of them. All right, so that's what's going on there. Yeah, anything else about Virgo? Your health, thinking about your health too and how you can improve that. All right, now at 12 a.m. Mountain Time, so the very first thing this morning, yesterday and into today, we have this moon in Virgo and a sextile with Mercury and Cancer. And I think that's going to be positive, really helping you very early this morning to have some good conversations about perhaps what you're feeling, about what you need to feel more secure and more comfortable in your life. And I think with the moon in Virgo, you're starting to understand perhaps what you need, or do things in a little bit of a more practical way to organize your life so that you can feel better, acknowledge your feelings, take care of those things, feel more comfortable, feel more grounded and more rooted in life. So I really like that. Good conversations. If you're not talking to someone, then I think good thoughts here, really helping you to plan your life better, to do things in a better way so that you can feel more comfortable. Then a few hours later at 3 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon, as it moves further through Virgo, will sextile Jupiter. Again, I think that's another positive thing, helping you to understand not only what you need to do to feel better, but to make sense of some of your emotions, especially with Mercury being in a water sign, Jupiter in a water sign. I do think there is a chance very early today to get more clarity on what it is that you're feeling, to dig deep, to get to the root of your emotions so that you can organize them better and come up with strands and strategies and plans based on your feelings that can help you to deal with them in a more practical way and in a more productive way than recently. So I do like that. Jupiter in Scorpio may require you to make some changes, perhaps in order for you to make a better plan, to do the things that you need to do to feel much better emotionally. But because this is a sextile, I do think that if you do have to make any changes today to your plans, that they're going to be a little bit easier for you to make, especially early on in the morning. Okay, so I do like that. I like both of these things, really just helping, I think, you to understand your emotions and to use your emotions to your advantage, to put a plan in place, to put a strategy in place, to use them more practically in a way that makes you feel better, more stable and secure. You know, when all these planets have been in Gemini and an air sign, while all these other planets have been in water signs, I think it's been confusing. We've been wanting to think, wanting to explore, but then there's been some heavy emotional stuff weighing on us. And I think now that a lot of these planets are out of Gemini, we're moving into Cancer, we've got the moon in an earth sign. I think it's really helping us now to figure out what's going on with us emotionally, to organize our emotions, to think about them more practically, since now we're getting the Virgo Mercury instead of the Gemini Mercury, so that we can move forward feeling much better, feeling hopefully a little bit more secure than we have recently. Okay, we may need to dig up some more feelings with Jupiter involved and make some changes, but I'd like to think whatever comes up will be positive for us to use to our advantage. Then, after that happens at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon moves further through Virgo and opposes Neptune and Pisces. This can bring some confusion whenever you get like hard aspects to Neptune, squares or oppositions. But I think with Neptune going retrograde, which I think it did very, very late yesterday, so very early this morning, I guess depending on what part of the world you're in, with Neptune going retrograde. I personally think that when Neptune goes retrograde, it clears some things up. It helps us see through the things that were maybe a little bit problematic for us before, to get to the heart of what's really going on inside us. And I think that may be what's going on at 6 a.m. Mountain Time is that maybe we're starting to get more clarity from some of the confusion that's going on in our lives. And with the opposition to Virgo, the moon in Virgo, maybe needing to take a second, take a break, take a time out to get the clarity, to get the insights that it is that you need spiritually and internally. And I think taking that break to get those insights will then help you, as the moon is still in Virgo, to put better plans in place. All right. Yeah. So the moon in opposition to Neptune could bring confusion, but I think if you just take a step back for a second to listen to what's going on in your spirit and soul, that can actually bring really good insights, especially with Neptune stationing, really powerful insights to help you figure out what you need to do on the day-to-day, how you need to organize your life and strategize and plan in order to move forward. All right, so that's happening there. Then a few hours later at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, the moon moves further through Virgo and will come into a trine with Pluto and Capricorn. And what I think that will bring is perhaps, it could bring some changes around that time. I think a lot of it is going to be changes in your job, changes in your daily routine and what you do on the day-to-day, maybe changes in your strategy. I think you're trying to create a life that you like better, that you feel more comfortable in. Not only a life that's going in the right direction that you want, but one that you can like really enjoy and feel okay with. And I think this moon in Virgo got like so many insights in the morning time about what you need emotionally to feel more comfortable in your life, to feel more stable, to move forward in the right way. And maybe what happens at 1 p.m. is that you have to start making the changes in your life and where you thought your life was going to accommodate some of the insights that did come up earlier in the day. Okay, that's what I see going on. I like to think they'll be positive just because I really do like a lot of the other things. I like a lot of things happening this week, to be honest. Like the moon making the 2 sextiles at the beginning of the day were very good. So I personally don't think that the moon being in a trine with Pluto today at 1 p.m. will be that upsetting, but just know that Pluto a lot of times can bring up some intense feelings or fears that we may have. And I think really the message of this alignment, if some fears do come up, is to make some changes to your daily routines, to your strategy, to your plan about where your life is going, about how you achieve the things that you want that are important to you based on some emotional insights that you've received lately. And I think if you can do that, it's going to help things go more smoothly. All right. So that's what's happening there. And then the last thing going on that I want to mention is actually going to happen tomorrow at 5 a.m. Mountain Time. And that's when the moon's going to move further through Virgo and come into a square over here to the sun. And that's officially going to make it a first quarter moon. First quarter moons are good for action, acting, initiating, doing things, as to where right after the new moon, we're kind of like planning, preparing to initiate. I think once the moon actually makes the square to the sun, it's time to start to do things now that we've gotten some insights. And I think that comes in very early tomorrow morning, maybe giving you more motivation maybe than you've had recently to do things, to organize your life with the moon being in Virgo. In a way that works, and maybe even because the moon will slip into Libra shortly after, to work with other people to do some of the things that you need to feel more comfortable and to find more of the balance in your life. All right, so that's what we've got going on there. Now other stuff happening in the background, what we've got, Venus in a conjunction with the North Node. I really like it. I think this is a good time for relationships, for money. Maybe if there were some things, again, last week that were hard with relationships, hard with money, unexpected things coming up that didn't feel too good. I do like to think that Venus here in the North Node is helping you to find some kind of positive resolution or to make sense of it in your heart in a way that hopefully can work. All right, so I do like that, maybe getting more insights on what you need in relationships and money. And of course, Venus too rules your confidence, to just feel a little bit more confident about your life. All right, Mars still on the South Node. So even though we're maybe getting some answers about what our heart wants with Venus and Leo, what our heart wants to be happy, what we need to feel better about our relationships and money, it still may be a little bit hard for us to figure out where our life is going, how all the pieces are going to add up together. That may be a little bit difficult. We may still be a little bit frustrated. Because how can we do what our heart wants if like there's so many other big questions that we have, but almost needing to just trust where your heart is leading you at this time, and to trust that if you go there, that everything will kind of work itself out, okay? And to not get too frustrated if things don't go according to plan. I think sometimes, again, Mars and Aquarius in the South Node can want to check out and not face some of the things going on in life right now, but really needing to get the balance right, to stay engaged, at least to engage your heart the best that you can, and to take breaks when you need, but to not be afraid to come back and to show up and to be present. I do think a lot of times the fire signs, especially Leo, is all about being present in the moment. And I think needing to not forget that as well, to be present, to bring your heart into your moment, into this moment, into your life, even if there's some other things going on in the periphery that you don't know how you feel about, or how they're all going to add up. All right, Mercury as well, coming into a trine with Jupiter very soon, tomorrow, I think, and then we'll come into a trine with Neptune later this week, with Jupiter and Neptune in a trine with each other, again making it a grand water trine. I also like to think will be very positive as well, to help you understand what you're feeling, what's going on inside you emotionally, to dig up some deep emotions to be processed. So that you can feel more at peace on the inside with Neptune stationing, to get more clarity about your emotions, so that you can think and communicate in better ways about what's been going on with you, so that you can feel more comfortable. So I really do like this. I think I did mention as to where it may have been hard for us to communicate and think about our feelings in the past week or two. I do think Mercury now being in Cancer in this trine with Jupiter is really helping us to make sense more of our emotions. And I think this moon in Virgo is just saying, okay, now that you're figuring out more of what you're feeling, how can you take these feelings, these insights emotionally, spiritually that you're getting, and use them more to your advantage, okay? And put a plan in place and structures to support these emotional insights that you're getting. Someone in the comments did mention, who comments a lot, which I thought was just great insight, just to keep in mind, even though I do love this water trine, I think it's really, really beautiful, helping us to get in touch with our emotions. It will be easier for my earth signs and my water signs. Just because water gets water. You got a grand water trine, and it's an element that your water signs are naturally good at. Your Pisces, your Scorpios, your Cancers might have a better time with this, or people who have a lot of planets in those signs. Okay, your Capricorns as well may really appreciate this energy, helping them to work things out. It's going to be a little bit harder for the air signs, even though Mercury is involved, so hopefully Mercury might make it easier. And it may be a little bit harder too for my fire signs, because you're going to have to take a second here to do something that you don't do naturally. And I think if you can take a second to do things you don't do naturally, pay attention to your emotions, then it will help you to unlock some of the doors or some of the things that may be going on. All right. So that's what we've got there. We also do have the sun at the last degree of Gemini. So again, especially with Mercury in this trine to Jupiter, could be lots of conversations about your feelings. I think just trying to get insights about what's going on. I think it is important to note, though, that the sun very soon will be in Cancer. For what is that? The solstice. When the sun enters Cancer and Capricorn, you get the solstice. Very soon, once the sun enters Cancer, it's then going to be in the same spot that Mercury was in last week, which wasn't too much of a good one, which will be a sextile to Uranus and a square to Chiron. So I think we could be thinking a lot about our feelings right now. I think we're getting some good insights on our emotions, on what's going on with us, but I really do think a lot of it, right, is like how to put these insights, these emotional insights, what we need to feel comfortable, how do we put it in a plan into place? How do we act on these things that we now know that we need to feel more comfortable emotionally? I think the moon in Virgo will help today. It's the strategizing. It's the being practical. You know, if you can take your emotions and the insights that you receive about what you need to feel more more comfortable, to be more stable, and put them in a more practical way, strategizing, getting all the details together. I think that will help you. But if you want to do the Aries thing and just throw things against the wall and run without a plan, without thinking things through, then I feel like this week can be very hard for you. But I really do think, especially today and with the square to Chiron, once you get these emotional insights that I think could come in, it's really a matter of figuring out, okay, now how do I add all the pieces up together? How do I come up with a plan? How do I refine my plan? Not do things hasty, don't be hasty, and this kind of energy, but how can I do the things that I need in a more detailed, disciplined kind of way that can give me more of the space and more of the structure to express my emotions and my heart and to use them more to my advantage. All right. So that's what I see going on there. Your horoscopes, your weekly horoscopes will be out soon in the morning. Sorry for the delay. I am trying to get better at doing those earlier. I just find, to be honest with you, I put off a lot of doing a lot of stuff for astrology and like answering emails and doing a lot of my videos. And I'm thinking it really is just, I'm like nervous and I'm like afraid. I think like I'm just afraid to look at emails and to open them, that like someone's gonna say something, you know. I know I'm very sensitive, and I don't know, like I think just sometimes the responsibility is like super scary for me, and so I think I put off a lot of these things that I don't need to put off. And so I think I'm just trying to figure out how to do that and how to like nurture myself through this process so that I'm like not so scared to do some of the things that I know I need to do, because I love astrology, like I love it. It's just sometimes like, and maybe this is Pluto and my descendant, but like sometimes I just get really afraid that like something's gonna go wrong and something's not gonna turn out right, and I'm gonna say something wrong or do something wrong and everyone's gonna be upset and like turn on me. And so I think I do put a lot of things off. So I'm just trying to work that out. I'm trying to get better at answering emails, at doing a lot of my videos sooner and posting them a lot earlier, all of them, though my dailies, my weeklies, doing more live videos. But I think I just need to work. I like in the true spirit of the astrology, like I really do think I still just need more time, like emotionally, to just process things with myself and get right with myself, and yeah, and to just calm my nerves before some of the other stuff happens. This is like the longest process ever for me to be comfortable with what has now happened to my life. But I am determined. Don't underestimate my determination. I have Jupiter in Taurus, which is the ruler of my Saturn. So don't underestimate my determination, even if it takes me a little while to figure out what I want and what's happening and how I can do things. All right, so that's what I've got. Your card is the Four of Cups reversed. Normally when this card is upright, there's something that's right in front of our noses that we need to be doing, that's calling our name, but we are avoiding it for some reason. Either we don't like the options that are presented to us, or we don't see the options that are presented to us, or they're not what we thought or what we wanted them to be. And I think the message of this card is to look up, to see all the possibilities that are around you, and to go with what you're being offered at this time. I kind of see this as like a Venus on the North Node, Mars in the South Node. Like I think Mars in the South Node, we have things we wanted. Like I wanted something to happen and I wanted it to happen in this way. And I wanted to do, you know, and now it's like not happening. You know, but I think what Venus on the North Node is saying is maybe what you wanted isn't happening, but like the universe, God is like giving you what you need to happen, is giving you what like you need to experience at this time. And I think it's just a matter of looking up, seeing what's in front of you and seeing the value that it really has for you, even if it's not what you wanted today. I think it's kind of what it is that you need. And with this card reversed and with the moon in a good spot, I really do think maybe what's happening is that you're starting to see the opportunities that you missed, or maybe you're starting to see the silver lining in some of the other things that were going on. And I like to think what's happening, hopefully with Venus on the North Node today, is that you're starting to accept some of the things in your life that you didn't want to accept earlier, and move forward on some of those things, even if they're not what you wanted. Because I think if there are things in your life right now that you weren't planning on, that you weren't expecting, that you don't know how you feel about, but that all of a sudden came to you, are things that really are meant for you, at least at this time, for you to learn from and to just take them and run with it. Alright, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.